Hey everyone, welcome to another awesome client story, client interview, success story. We're here with Candace Aku, and I can't wait for you to meet her. And I'm really excited, Candace, for you to tell your story, for you to share who you are in the world, and really talk about a journey that I don't know if it was sort of surprising for you, the journey that you went on with us. But for those who don't know what we do, I'll just sort of kick this off. My name is Coach Mo. I was a healthcare executive. I played at the highest levels of C-suite by the end of my career. And I realized so often how women were missing a few rungs in the ladder. And I've sort of figured it out the hard way. So my career spanned nearly 30 years. And I really wanted to help other women achieve a sense of power and freedom and success in a way that I saw so few being able to do for a variety of reasons. And Candace, I'm sure when you tell your story, we're going to hit on a few of those aspects for yourself as well. I'm always eager to tell stories of clients who have come through our workshop so that others who look like you, who sound like you, who are moving in a particular direction or not can relate. And so thank you very much ahead of time for sharing your story and being eager to talk about your experience and your journey of becoming the higher next version or next version of who you can be. So Candace, tell us a little bit about who you are, your professional situation, and what responsibilities you have. And let's kick it off. And again, welcome.
Coach Mo, thank you so much. It is such an honor to be on your platform. I
Thanks.
was honored when we connected about doing this, and it's so important, like you said, to showcase the relatability to other
Mhm.
people.
Yeah.
So, a little bit about myself. My name is Candace Aku. I am born and raised in South Carolina, and we recently migrated to Fredericksburg, Virginia. I am a daughter, a sister, a wife, a mother. First and foremost, I am a very spiritual person, believer in God,
Yeah.
and as far as professional, I am a senior solutions consulting for a tech company.
Mhm.
Many of you may know, and I've been in the field for a little over 10 years. I didn't always I didn't start out as a consultant. I started out as a technician actually, and
Mhm.
my way up to program management and now consulting. And outside of being working for a large tech company, I'm also an owner of a venue located in Mount South Carolina, and it's called the Aku Venue. And today I am here with Coach Mo to
Yeah.
tell you all about my journey.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, all women who end up in our 12-week KickAss workshop have seen something. Usually, it's an ad on Facebook or YouTube. Sometimes it might be some other post on Facebook or a friend sharing something. What was going on in your career
Mhm.
when you saw perhaps the first message from me, or what was going on for you? And then we can talk about like how did my message or how did the things I do sort of resonate with you?
Yeah.
Let's talk about where you were in your career.
So before finding you on Instagram,
Ah,
I was looking. I was with a life coach, and
okay.
at the time, I was in such a rut, like just trying to figure out what am I doing, what's my journey, what's my calling, am I wasting time? I'm feeling like it's taking too long for me to get to where I want to be. What am I just not knowing? And so I invested in life coaching, and
Mhm.
life coaching helped me to kind of dig myself out and make space for me.
Yeah.
Because she analyzed my calendar, she saw that it was just crazy. No, what stuck out to me for life coaching was you don't have any white space. How can you, as a spiritual person, allow God to even speak to you when
Mm,
your calendar is packed with everything for everyone else and you don't
yeah.
have any time for you? So
Yeah.
she set a bedtime, like a shower time, of like a time where it's not Candace and Candace. Um,
Yeah.
so that was helpful for like, okay, now I figured out how to make time for Candace. This still doesn't help me though when it comes down to how do I deal with this corporate world.
Mm-hmm.
So I started searching more like, is there such thing as career coaching or something? And that's how I came across your Instagram post. And I'm like, did she just say kick ass? And that just like she's bold in your delivery. And it was just like, I need some of whatever Coach Mo has. So that's what got me looking into what is it that you offer.
Yeah.
What's an educational platform that you're on? I don't recall what it is at this time, but I started looking into that.
Yeah.
And then somehow I got a call. I don't remember if I reached out or if me putting in a form or something, but I got a call from the
Yeah.
team.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. What was the biggest challenge that was in front of you that seemed like it wasn't getting worked out?
I know the quality of my work and I know how many hours I put in for someone else. And it just felt like it wasn't being recognized by the right people to, you know, move me forward.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Typically only takes me 2 years or less to, figure out my role and then get to the next
Yeah.
level. And
Uh-huh.
I just felt like it wasn't happening. And I went from being a program manager for, networking to trying to fulfill a role that was kind of like in development.
Mm-hmm.
No prior experience serving these types of customers, no type of experience doing the work that was asked to do in this role. So everything was like on the job training. I basically trained myself, by learning from other people as I'm working through different contracts.
Yep. Yep.
And I'm like, I'm doing all this stuff, but it doesn't seem like anyone cares. And how do I make myself relevant? How
Mm-hmm.
do I take better control of my own journey instead of like just waiting on someone to see and recognize?
Right.
Um, and I'm saying this stuff now, but I didn't have words for it before the
Ah,
program.
okay. Interesting. You just knew that you were sort of stuck or stifled, or it just wasn't feeling like you were either being all that you could, or it wasn't pulling you forward anymore. Like there was something stalled out. Is that?
Yeah. And you just saying like, you're waiting for someone to do this and you have to do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You just think that if I show up and I'm the best version of myself and I put in long hours and I produce great
Yeah.
content, like someone's going to notice that and someone's going to
Yeah.
do something about it. But it's like, no. And then you don't even have to be the best at it. It's about, are you seen? Are you on the
Yes.
right opportunities? Are you taking better control of, the things
Yes.
that you're doing and making sure that the right people see it? Those are things that you and your team, helped us with
Mm-hmm.
tailoring. Like, it doesn't matter what you think, it matters how you can influence the people who can do something about, what you're
That's
doing.
it. That's
Yeah.
it. Can we take a little bit of a it's not really a detour, but I want to talk a little bit about being a Black woman in corporate America. um, I am certain, although I can't recall exactly, but I'm certain when you were in our 12-week workshop you saw other women of color,
Yes.
probably had a few immigrants and women who may have been from another country and may have accents.
Yeah.
From time to time that's up to about half of the women who are in the program. I mean, white women are stifled and not offered opportunities, but studies show, and I know this is your experience, that Black women, it's like you got double jeopardy going on. And so, as you're sort of not feeling like your career is what it should be at that next level, talk about that experience as a Black woman.
Oh my goodness. I'm glad you brought it up. So it's very important.
Mm-hmm.
When I started at my company, they brought me in at level 1 as a technician, despite me having an engineering degree. And so I already knew that this was a place where I was going to have to really prove myself and my grit and my skills.
Mm-hmm.
And I spent 5 years as a level 1 technician.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because I was not producing. It's not because, I wasn't meeting metrics or exceeding metrics. It was
Mm-hmm.
just, you know, how the system is created. Like how can we wean out people? Being a Black woman, it's not just about me.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times and a lot of Black women can relate to what I'm saying, we're tied to so many other
Yes.
people, being the first one in a professional career,
Mhm.
um, family looking up to you, family needing things from you, family,
Mm.
asking you for direction.
Yeah.
You're in a position where it's not like I'm just climbing for me. Like you're
Mhm.
taking many people,
Yeah.
with you on this journey.
Right.
They want to see you succeed. They want you to be successful. So in that, you have to stay focused on what is the end goal in all of this. So I knew that after 5 years, I had to pivot somehow. And so I'm like, if my on the job work is not doing it, let me go back and get my master's so that I can, find another role and get on another team who might see
Yeah.
my value.
Yeah.
The other team luckily brought in an African man who was in a higher position, who valued my educational background, who said, I'm going to give you an opportunity because I don't care what everyone else is saying. From the paperwork, I feel like you are the best choice.
Mm-hmm.
So 6 months before graduating with my master's, I was moved from level 1 to level 2 as an associate program manager. I was in the associate program manager role for about 3 months and then converted into level 1 program manager, which was level 3.
Huh?
And then, I just kept moving up from that. Like
Mm-hmm.
what took 5 years is
Yep.
taken 3 years or less.
Yeah.
And so I say all that to say if something's not working, that's a sign that it might be time to pivot,
Yeah.
because you don't want to spend years of thinking that someone else is going to see what you've done and do something about it. If it's not happening in that time frame and your inner, being is telling you like this is not going to go anywhere,
Right.
at some point you have to make the decision to change and try something else. And that's what I did. I just kept changing and trying something else after I knew that I put all my all into it. And
Yeah.
it's turning out the way that I know should be better than what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and to this day,
Hmm.
I'm a lot far further than where I started.
Yeah. Yeah. Amen. And thanks for elaborating on that. I mean, it's no coincidence that it took someone of your color to help lift you up to another rung. And this is a sad state of affairs. We
Yeah.
all agree. It unfortunately is still, humans being human, just even subconsciously and oftentimes consciously
Hmm.
picking people who they look like, act like, sound like
Yeah.
for other roles. And as humans, we can't be that small minded.
That's right.
But it's sort of built in, and we got to rise above that limitation. And I'm glad you had an ally. I'm glad you had a champion. Um,
Yes.
what were some of the things that you learned additionally as we were working together when you entered the 12-week transformational workshop with us? What types of things started clicking in place for you? And then we'll talk about what happened because of that. But what type of things you started going, oh, that's why. Oh, yeah.
So I love your group training. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you guys, seeing Coach Mo in her element is like none other. It didn't matter where any of the women were in their career journeys. Like you were able to meet any of us. Like if we were here, you were able to meet us. If we were here trying to get to, you were able to meet us. And so just watching that, and knowing that even though I'm not where I want to be, everybody at their levels had challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was inspiring. I want to get to VP, I want to get to director, and there are women that's at those levels and they're like, hey, I'm struggling, like I don't know what's next. Um, and then, just watching women become alive, like you saw them when they joined the program, like they felt like I did. And then, they're in there, they're, improving their appearance and their
Mm-hmm.
um,
Right?
creating connections and
Yeah.
meeting up locally, creating a community. Like it was just those things that had me excited about joining the program and showing up, to the weekly sessions to see like, oh, I wonder how this person's interviewing turned out, or I wonder how this person,
Mm-hmm.
whatever goal they set, I'm wondering how that turned out for them, because those things were like boosts for me to
Mm-hmm.
keep going, like, oh, it's changing for them, so it can change for me too. Um, that was the kind of thing that really drove me in the program to keep
Mhm.
going.
And
Yeah.
what was your biggest up level, both internal and external, in going through that process and following the formula and being part of that ecosystem? What did you up level?
Resume. Like professionally, my resume. As career women, we can get comfortable. And we're doing all these things, but we're not documenting it
Mm-hmm.
appropriately. And
Mm-hmm.
just being able to revamp my resume. And I have colleagues who see my LinkedIn profile now and they're like, oh my God, your profile looks amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, so like showing up for me in that sense of where I'm documenting the progress that I've made.
Mm-hmm.
Before people talk to me internally at work, they look at my LinkedIn profile and they're like, your story is amazing, just by looking at my career, trajectory over the time span. So that was one of the biggest challenges that I had, is like really speaking highly of myself on different platforms.
What has to happen in here, though, in order for that to match up?
You have to
You
recognize,
can't be a faker.
no, you got to do the work.
Yeah.
Work.
Yeah.
Your gift bundle at the beginning of the program, and I tell you this all the time, Miracle Morning.
Mm.
Oh my God, that was a game changer for me.
Yeah.
Um, I do have ebbs and flows where I don't get up as early as I should, but in that season, like that 5 a.m. get up and spend time with yourself and spirit, and write down your grads and your what you're grateful for and what you've accomplished, and saying your affirmations, and like just doing that internal
Yeah.
work to like get you together before you can face anything, and you're able to set your goals for the day. And the next morning you can say, what did you achieve from those goals? And
Yeah.
also, before leaving work every day, the things that you did not accomplish, making that list for the next day, that's
Mm.
been a game changer for me, keeping me in line and in check of like not letting things slip.
Yeah.
Just taking control like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And look, as a woman, as a Black woman, is someone letting you do that? No, you have to fight
Oh,
for that, don't you? You have to like claim it.
yep. You have to fight for it. Like you got to stand firm.
Yeah.
And when, like you said, when you do the work and that's when you're unshakable.
Yes.
Like sometimes before that, it's like you can allow other people to kind of dictate how you show up, or dictate what's being said about you to be reality when you know better. Uh,
Hmm.
but when you do that internal work, it's like unshakable.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
did that impact your career specifically?
So, right when I was leaving I guess my time with your team, um, I went up for promotion, and I didn't get it at that time, because that was all throughout the process of me building myself back up.
Yep.
But what was so great about it is like we had like a manager trade off that was happening, and I really started like showing up. And my manager, I told him, I said, I wish that I could have recorded everything you said about me, because when it came down to him transitioning me to my new manager, he gave the best handover
Mm.
ever. Just
Mm.
saying like how great I am, how, matchless my work is. And he just spoke my praises. So the new manager that I was being handed off to, he was really looking forward to working with me. And I was the only person, that who like really put in the work. I wouldn't say the only person, but like he was convinced that he needed to pay attention to me basically.
Hmm.
And so for that next cycle, I was put up for promotion again and I got it.
You got to wear your truth for a little while sometimes before it sprouts, before it flowers for you.
Exactly.
Of course, we wish that everyone could have instant, immediate. 12 weeks was that foundation that allowed you to start feeling worthy, comfortable,
Yep.
powerful. Hearing praise. You don't hear praise from people when you're not feeling some element of worthy of it.
That's right.
So that mirror is just a beautiful reflection of the work that you did and the commitment you had to yourself. Now, let's be honest, your career, as you said earlier, is not just for you.
Exactly.
You have other people who are not only just watching you, but who are literally relying on you.
Yeah.
How has the transformation affected them, and how has the promotion affected them?
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
talk about the ripple effect here, Candace.
The ripple effect of the promotion. Number one, we are in what we can consider our dream home now. We got our home built. Of course, being promoted, additional income that helps you to get where you want to be. On paper for the people that it matters to.
Yeah.
And then, in work, I have women all the time who just tell me how much they're inspired by my journey and by how I show up. And we have like a ticketing system so they can see my name always flying through on different projects and the types of projects that I'm working on.
Yeah.
I'm no longer taking a backseat coach mode. I'm getting in the right rooms, spending time with the right people and just putting my voice out there. When we got our new managing director, I made sure that I reached out to him and I had, different meetings with him to let him know my goals, my skip level or my parallel level.
Yeah.
Just getting my name out there, speaking to them, letting them know the things that I'm passionate about and what I care about, because who knows, there might be something that's created.
Right.
So those things I feel all matter. Like you can't think that just your immediate manager is the only, the end all be all.
Right.
You have to have a team, you have to create your own kind of people who can speak to your power on your behalf. Like,
absolutely. When you're not in the room, they're
yes,
speaking your praises.
yes,
Yeah.
yep. And so yeah, you can't just think that keeping your head down is going to get you where you need to be. That was me. Like, I'm just going to keep my head down. I'm just going to knock it out.
Yeah.
And before you know it, it's somebody else getting the praise for all the work that you've done because they were in the room. They did speak to people. They probably didn't even have the full story, but they could speak well.
Yes. And I want to throw a little extra spice on this because I've worked with a lot of Black women over the years. When we were going through the George Floyd thing, I had my Black clients come on a call. I mean, we were celebrating the way that Black women have taken on the responsibility of their success. And I know in working with so many, you're raised to be polite.
Yep.
You're raised to be, let's call it somewhere in the zone of perfect or it's not good.
Exactly.
You're raised not to cut, not to make a fuss. And that whole keep your head down and people will notice. And here's the other thing. And I want you to pop holes in all of this because that's how you have gone through your transformation. The other part is it's not just up to God. And when I hear someone say, well, if God wanted me to be in that promotion, I would have gotten it.
No.
So let's poke around at some of this stuff, Candace, because I want to help more Black women find their power in them and be able to exercise it. We rely on God's grace and power, but we gotta lean into what we were given.
Yes.
So poke around with that for me a little bit. Let's toss that around.
Another area I'm passionate about. I'm a preacher's kid. So yes. Number one, faith without works is dead. That's a Bible scripture. Google it. You can find it and read it every day. One of the things that I hold on to from scripture is that you can, Jesus was telling us to, create better works, like do greater work. He was sent here to be an example. Like God is that spirit, and Jesus was the closest thing to him in the human flesh to be the example. And Jesus didn't always wait on God to tell him what to do. He did what he thought God wanted him to do. And he was an example for followers. And when he felt his work was done, he vanished. Or when he felt like he needed to
Uh-huh.
um, get power again, he went into the mountains.
Uh-huh.
Like these are things that that he did in the human form that
Yes.
we as beings need to take the example and do those things like Jesus did and try to do better.
Mm-hmm.
Very few of us or any of us have done anything greater than him because we
Mm-hmm.
continue to just focus on God. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
God gave us and equipped us with everything internally that we need, but it's up to us to tap in to those gifts. They
Mm-hmm.
can lie dormant. There's also a story, a Bible story, where gifts were given and one person really used all of them and
Yeah.
he kept getting more gifts.
Yes.
When another person tried to like hold on to the one or two and they didn't go anywhere because they were just waiting on God to do
Yep.
something with
Yep.
what he had already given. So
Yep.
I can talk all day long about that, Coach Mo, but
Yeah.
that's
Oh yeah.
exactly where we have to be in these days and times. AI is here, all
Uh-huh.
of the artificial intelligence, all of the, technology is here. And it's because people started at one point and they just kept iterating on it until AI can do basically what a human can do.
Right. Right. It's time to be our spiritual self because AI can't be our spirit,
They
but
can.
it's going to be able to do pretty much a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
And I love the story of the talents because to me that is like such a human experience. If you
Yeah.
are protecting and fearing
Mm-hmm.
to lose what God has given you, you're never going to be able to expand on it. But if
Never.
you go out there and make more of it, the other thing that, and I talked about this with the gals who are coming to my retreat,
Mm-hmm.
you made water into wine when you
Yeah.
came into the program because water doesn't have like something of a different taste or it doesn't have anything more in it. It's just sort of flowing and it flows where it's sort of meant or told to go.
Yeah.
So that was your career.
Yes.
And then you added ingredients. Maybe there was some strategy on the resume, some strategy on LinkedIn, the inner self. You woke up earlier. You became a brighter version of Candace. You started speaking up for yourself. To me, that is the water into wine
Yeah.
story. And that was the conversion that you made using what you had inside, but
Yes.
also you had to have the vessel to
Mm-hmm.
pour it into. And
Okay.
I think that's one of the things that we really do is we show women, you've got a bigger vessel.
Yes.
Get in there
Yes.
and be more.
Be more. Show
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Like stop taking a back seat. Stop trying
Mhm.
to, be modest. And
Yeah.
humble is a word that's used largely in the Black community. Coach Mo, stay humble.
Oh,
Mind your manners, and
right. Right.
but sometimes you have to get ahead of that, and
Yeah.
you have to speak truth to power, and you have to stand your ground. There's a polite way to do that,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to do it. You
Yeah.
can't just accept what's being said to you, what's being said about you. If you
Mm-hmm.
have it, I tell any of the people who I mentor, tell them all the time, document.
Mm-hmm.
Before you open up your mouth, document.
Mm-hmm.
Because someone can say verbally that, I've seen people's ideas be taken,
Mm-hmm.
by people who are in the right groups all the time.
Yep.
They can say that they came up with it first, but there's a timestamp on document, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And so that's always one of my recommendations is that document and move on, build upon it, kind of formulate what you want to do
Uh-huh.
to a good enough point to where somebody can't just come along and take what you've been working really hard on.
Right. Totally. And if we go back to Jesus's example,
Hmm.
um, there's humility that doesn't really look like humble
Mm. Yep.
because Jesus did bold things.
Yeah.
Jesus spoke against the current power and
Yep.
said there's a new way.
Oh
And I'm
yeah.
going to show you.
Hmm.
And so there was no humble
Hmm.
in his journey, in his walk, but there
Exactly.
was humility. And in my way of looking at that, that's the sort of the position of saying, because I was gifted this,
Hmm.
I'm going to be bold in my gifts, but
Yes,
I have some humility about it because it's not all mine.
that's right. Yep.
And if I act in that, I'm being who I was brought here to be. I'm using my gifts. I'm making the impact that I was asked to make when I was brought here. Um,
Definitely.
I freaking love talking to you about this stuff. We don't get a chance as much oftentimes to get as deep into some of these things in the coaching because we're like moving, we're moving on to stuff. Let me ask you this: what's one of the biggest things that has continued to, let's call it, pay off for you as you continue on your journey?
So, to be honest, a Black woman investing in this opportunity was a little scary for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I am a witness that it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
As you continue to level up in the things that you came to Coach Mo and team for, you see the payback on your investment. Number one, besides, the way that I can now show up for myself, the promotion, that's already, my investment is already paid for. Um, but what was embedded in me from the program, that's a lifetime. Coach Mo took years off of my life of where I'm trying to be,
Right.
because even you can tell them that in the after the first 12 week, it was the
Leadership Academy.
leadership
Yes.
academy, and I
Yes.
was the youngest one in the leadership
Yes, you
academy.
are. And I was like, you go, let's make it happen. Yeah.
Like those are the things that mean a lot to me, because I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm trying to learn from the best.
Yeah.
And when you learn it from somebody like yourself who's already been COO, CEO,
Mm-hmm.
and your coaches also have had these experiences.
Yeah.
Sitting with Coach Stacy, oh my God, she was just, the thing I loved about her is that she's just blunt
Yeah.
and to the point,
Yeah.
and just about how she shared, different things with, these are the things that you need to start doing and start, that's also what God said, write the vision and make it plain. She was
Yes.
on us about, hey, we're checking in next week. Let me see what you have, the elevator pitch, exercising that vocal skills, about speaking highly of yourself and what you
Mm-hmm.
bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Um, practice makes perfect, or practice makes better. They keep changing it, but
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
um, those are the things that, we didn't just show up to listen to you guys. You guys had work for us to do. You were our accountability partners.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, just an overall amazing experience that we'll carry with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love seeing you shine. I love I love the fact that I knew you before the program. Well, I knew you at the beginning of your work with us, and
Yep.
the shining, strong, powerful woman I'm talking to now
Mm-hmm.
is such a delight. I mean, really a delight. And you
Yep.
mentioned being younger in the Leadership Academy, probably on the younger end, also in the 12-week workshop. Most
Yep.
of the women who we have in our coaching venue are mid 40s to
Mm-hmm.
mid 60s. I mean, that's sort of like it's mid career. It's like, holy shit, stuff's not happening for me.
Right.
But then we have some women who are in their 30s
Mm-hmm.
and beginning to go,
Yep.
I'm not taking this for another 10 years before it changes. So,
Exactly.
as an engineer, you can sort of do the math on making the changes earlier
Yes.
and how exponential
Mm-hmm.
that makes the change, the transformational journey that you've taken on just exponential. I mean, you're in your dream house already.
Yes. Yes. I mean, and such an amazing feeling, Coach Mo, to have my family come up and walk through, and my parents are like, "Where are we?" Like, that was like, something that many people don't even get to share with the ones that they love, and
Yeah.
that's what means a lot to me. Like, I'm not just on this journey just to be doing things for me. I
Mm-hmm.
want people that I love to be able to see this while they're alive and experiencing it with me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that means a lot to me.
What are your kids getting because of your power, confidence, certainty, career path escalation? What's their win? I mean, come on.
Yes, it's going to shave years off of off of them. My oldest, I don't even think she's going to enter corporate America. She's a dreamer. She's artistic. Like, she's in the clouds all the time, dreaming of the things that she wants to do in the
Mm-hmm.
liberal arts field.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My youngest she loves science, and she's like me to the 10th power. When I don't think she's paying attention, I see how she's paying attention, like how she shows up to get her work done. Um,
Mm.
Very independent. Um, Even if I give her advice, she still wants to do it her way. She'll honor what I'm saying, but it's going to be how she decides to apply it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I can already
Mm-hmm.
see like
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
of things that she's developing. You know, she just hit 13. So I'm seeing what she's equipped with already. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's so great. And back in the day when I was being raised,
Hmm.
if you were artistic and creative, your parents had a whole lot of fear about that. Not
Oh,
yours, mine did. I mean, that generation that raised me was like, oh no, 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 no. You're
yeah.
not going to write for a living. You're going to do something practical. You're going to do something that's going to get you a job. That's
Yep.
going to be a career for you. You're going to go to college, and so I was always directed toward practical
Hmm.
career. Now, I started as a nurse. That sort of fit science, cool, like that. But there was a creative spirit in me
Yeah.
that I'm seeing all of our clients who are moms being able to see their kids in more of a holistic way
Yes.
instead of having this lens of fear going, don't be that version of you. You've got to be this version. Like,
Hmm.
I'm an engineer, so you got to be an engineer.
Yeah.
Like, that's no longer the way you want to see your kids. I mean, I don't know if it ever was, but so many of our clients have told us that their view of how they're parenting has gotten to be more of a wide angle lens.
Yeah. I wanted to be the best version of myself so that I can help them either way. Like, if you want to go this way, I got you. I'm
Yeah.
also an entrepreneur, so if you want to go
Yeah.
this way, I got
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
That was my goal.
Yeah.
Entrepreneur one came naturally because I came from a family of entrepreneurs,
Mm-hmm.
but the whole corporate, career navigating, and I needed help, and I went
Mm-hmm.
for it, and I got
Yeah.
it, and
Yeah.
I'm thriving. I'm no
Yeah.
longer. I was
Yeah.
surviving when I joined. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm thriving, and like you said, everybody can see it.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Let's
yeah,
talk about that longer term runway that you have being a business owner, being an entrepreneur.
yeah,
Um, let's talk about how being successful in your day job is also allowing to have fertile
yes,
days for what you were also doing in your life. And
yes.
again, let's plug away. So tell us what your additional thing is, and tell people how to get in touch with that.
Yes. So the Aku venue is one of our babies. It's an event center. I was sharing with Coach Mo that in our community, if you wanted to host an event, you had to reach out, and most of them were religious or only for weddings or only for business professionals. And we wanted to create a elegant, affordable blank canvas so that if someone just wanted to have a family intimate gathering, or if somebody wanted to have a professional business gathering, they could do that in a nice space. So we decided to create it. And if you are ever in the South Carolina area, 25 minutes outside of the beach, Charleston, the Aku venue is there. We have a projector system, we have surround sound, we have nice restrooms, we have plenty of parking. And so we are just excited about what we're doing and what we're able
Yeah.
to provide to our community members. And like Coach Mo said, the more that you elevate on, where you are, this is how you can fund your dreams. Um,
Yes.
the higher you go, the more that you have to be able to turn into something that matters to you. You know,
Yes.
yeah, my wife
Yes.
likes to say, I don't go to work just to go to work. I want to be able to do something for myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Work.
Absolutely. How can people get in touch or find out about your venue?
So if you put in at AKU venue, VENUE, on any social media platform, we'll pop up. And if you want to look us up on Google, the Aku venue, our Google listing will pop up with all of our information on it as well. Yes.
I'm so excited. I see your Facebook stuff, Instagram stuff, and I'm beaming like a proud coach would beam, watching you in your full expression, knowing that you're being an awesome mom, an awesome partner, an awesome daughter, sister, all of the hats that you wear. The bright, shiny soul is unmistakably transforming and making the world better just by who you have become.
Thank you so much. I
Yeah.
appreciate you more than
Yeah.
you know. I appreciate
So good. Folks, just a taste here of Candace's transformation, what she has done to be the best version of herself. And Candace, speaking up, speaking out, being the best version of you is going to continue to pay off. I know that. When we were in Leadership Academy, we created a 10-year roadmap. And I know that you, as an engineer, you've probably got your sights on where this is going to keep going. Thank you so much for sharing your story. It's been a pleasure spending this time with you. mofall.com/talk gets you that first step, which is a clarity call, folks. If we didn't talk to Candace about her problem and whether we could fix it or not, we would have never gotten started with this beautiful journey. So we got to make sure that what's going on with your career or not going on is what we fix. And that's mofall.com/talk. And then we will diagnose with you and we will see what we can do. And then you can be like Candace and make a decision to honor yourself and the asset of you, the asset of your career, and make it bigger. I'm excited to keep watching you unfold your dreams, Candace, and keep being the most awesome version of you. Thank you very much for sharing your story. One little thing. What are you going to say to that woman who's like, mofall.com/talk? I don't know. What are you going to say to her? Give her a little pep talk.
Do it. What do you have to lose? You're going to either stay where you are, unhappy, or you're going to do the work to create the life that you want. So you have a choice. You know, back to my spiritual side. I give you life or death. You choose.
Yes.
It's up to you to choose your journey.
Yeah.
And I chose life. I want to live my best life.
Yes. Oh, you did indeed. And you're a shining example. Again, thanks for sharing your story. It's been lovely diving into these topics with you today. And folks, mofall.com/talk is where it all starts. The seed gets planted and then you learn how to grow it. Thanks again, Candace. We'll see you next time, everyone. It's mofall.com/talk. Let's have your best life be totally kick-ass.